Good morning, Aces. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying your Thanksgiving holiday. So, Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville has violated his no contact order, and he is back in legal hot water as his harassing communications appeal hearing approaches. This past Friday, an Alabama judge heard a motion from the Huntsville district attorney to revoke his bond order. In documents obtained by Urban Bell, the judge issued a no contact order regarding Martell's contact with Melody. Martell could only contact Mel regarding their ongoing custody battle. Despite this ruling, the Huntsville DA detailed in a motion that Martell or Martell's associates continuously contact Melody about matters outside of their divorce agreement. The DA even includes an instance where Martell demanded to know why Melody met with the district attorney in their office. It says, quote, "The victim met with the undersigned on this date to discuss our upcoming trial. After the victim left my office, defendant contacted her demanding to know why she was here. The victim feels threatened and in fear for her safety now that she is possibly being watched by the defendant or someone close to the defendant." That is so ridiculously scary. As a result, the DA sought to amend Martell's bond agreement to have no contact with Melody whatsoever. A judge agreed with this sentiment and issued this order. The new order, issued by the judge, will supersede the ongoing custody case. Martell cannot contact Melody directly or indirectly whatsoever. Recently, the judge presiding over Martell and Melody's custody struck multiple elements of an order Martell filed seeking to hold Melody under contempt of court. This includes allegations that Melody was having inappropriate contact with her security guard in her home while the children were present. After this was struck from the court, these allegations were mentioned on various social media outlets. Okay, so shout out to Urban Bell for this article, and I'll link it in the description box. But a few things. Martell Holt, and a lot of people have come to the conclusion that he shows a lot of characteristics of being a malignant narcissist. You know, he has delusions of grandeur. He's never wrong in his eyes. He doesn't take responsibility for anything. And the fact that he is questioning Melody as to why she's meeting with a district attorney, it just lets me know that she is correct in fearing for her safety. And I really hope that, she still has that bodyguard on her payroll, that she keeps him close to her, or perhaps another security guard. And it's so unfortunate that she has to do that because she was married to this man for so many years. I remember when Mel was in the hot tub with Kimmy and Tisha, and she was talking about, they were talking about just life in general, girl talk. But Melody said something that stuck out to me. She said that I really wished that I would have had my children with someone else. She's like, I wish that I would have been married to and divorced a man who was an adult, essentially. And that's true. I feel like Martell looks at Melody as a possession or property or something that he owned. This man is seething with rage. I feel like he is unhinged. I feel like he is unsafe. And if he is having someone watch her, and a lot of people have speculated as to who the person is, I'm not going to name that person because I don't know. I wasn't there. And this person has appeared on the show. So if this individual is following her, is following Melody, that is despicable. Like, that is the lowest of the low. I hope it's not true. I hope it is just speculation. But the fact that Martell would feel emboldened enough, just the audacity of asking Melody even where she's going, what she's doing. She's a grown woman, right? But the fact that he's asking her why she met with the district attorney, I am so glad that the judge and the district attorney, they're taking the steps necessary to protect her and to protect her children. I'm not sure if Martell has had that court mandated psych evaluation yet, but I would, and I know that's protected by HIPAA. I'm just saying I would be very interested to know what the results are. Again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not trying to diagnose anyone through the screen, but I've taken enough psychology courses to know, and I'm familiar enough with the DSM-5 which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual that psychologists use. And what they'll do is um, they'll list a person's character traits against a specific diagnosis. He has so many character traits and a pattern of narcissistic behavior that we've seen repeated throughout the years. Like, if anything, he's been consistent. And I'm blown away. Like, you going to jail for DV, harassing communications wasn't enough of a deterrent to leave this woman alone. You have the audacity to call her and question her meeting with a lawyer. I'm like, Martell, who do you think you are? And on top of that, they're doing all this in Huntsville, Alabama. And that's relevant because I mentioned this before. Alabama is building one of the biggest prisons in our country. The United States locks up more people than anywhere else in the world, period. The US only makes up 4% of the world's population. We lock up 25% of people in the entire world. This is the most punitive country in the world. And he's in one of the most punitive states in this country. Louisiana is number one, I believe. But in Alabama, they are building a $1 billion prison as we speak. Do you not think that these for-profit prisons are not looking for reasons to lock up men behind bars? Specifically Black men. That's their favorite flavor. And for you to not have this awareness, listen, I have family in Huntsville, Alabama. As I've said before, I spent a couple years in southern Tennessee and right there on the cusp. I've gone to Alabama. The NASA Center. I've been to their mall several times. I've even visited Alabama A&M. Shout out to the Hill. There's great things about Huntsville. I'm not trying to disparage the city, but what I am saying is we can't divorce the history of Alabama and Bull Connor, even their current governor, Kay Ivey. She is extremely far right leaning conservative in her belief system, which is why she's building a $1 billion prison. She took money from COVID funds that were supposed to be allocated for public health, and instead she put them into prisons. Martell is not a very smart individual, in my opinion, as opposed to Melody. Melody is someone who is very calculating. She's very strategic. She is focused on her business, on taking care of her children. She's focusing on the things that are most important. She's not trying to clock what Martell does and where he goes. And, that's no longer her problem. After that divorce, she said, I'm done with him. He's no longer my concern. As opposed to Martell, clocking and trying to watch everywhere that Melody goes. Like, that speaks to someone who is not well. Y'all remember that song from Rockwell where he's like, I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Oh, I'm like, that's Martell stalking people and asking why they're meeting with an attorney. She's meeting with the district attorney because you're asking her why she's meeting with the district attorney. She's trying to stay safe and keep her children safe from you. Like, you are the problem. Look inward. My mind was blown when I first heard about this story, because I'm like, I know dang on well that Martell is not I don't even want to say crazy enough, but I can't think of another adjective, unhinged, unwell, whatever you want to call it, enough to have somebody follow Melody, clock where she's going, what she's doing, asking her why she's meeting with a district attorney. Like just that question alone lets me know that he like his thinking process doesn't follow one of logic. This is someone who, in my opinion, he really needs some serious therapy. He really does. And um I'm so happy that Melody's taken the steps that she needs to take to protect herself. It is unfortunate that it's gotten to this point because I feel like he is a danger to her and her children. If you guys remember, Mel had written up in court documents that, Martell essentially felt threatened by his son, um, that now that his son is becoming a bit older, he is feeling like, he perceives him as a threat and he tried to put his hands on his son. People like that are just, they are really sick individuals. Like he really needs some intensive therapy. But until he gets that, until he sees the problem, and his mama ain't gonna tell him, Miss Marlene, bless her heart, I feel like she is a huge enabler in Martell's life, calling him a good husband and a good father. Where? Melody said that, she had to send or cash app the kids money. She had to send Uber Eats for her to even feed her children while they were in the care of their father. So he's not a responsible adult in that sense because he's not feeding his children, allegedly. And he was not a faithful spouse. He impregnated a whole nother woman during the height of COVID, by the way. I just there's nothing that there's nothing that says a responsible adult about Martell Holt. There's nothing about his behavior that has conveyed any type of responsibility. He doesn't take accountability for anything. He hasn't said, you know what, I could have done this better or I should have, and I'll correct my behavior going forward. None of those things. Part of being a responsible adult is to be able to take responsibility, accountability, and to course correct. Martell doesn't do that. Instead, he's stalking his ex wife, unable to move on, looking at her like she's some type of, property that he owned. And it's like, no, Melody is a whole, autonomous human being. She just happened to be married to you and she was putting up with a lot more than a lot of people I know would have put up with. But you put her health in jeopardy, you put her mental health in jeopardy, her safety now is in jeopardy. It's like, I'm sure that she does wish that she would have married someone else and had her children with someone else. Because in my opinion, Martell is just, he's not a good person. Forget, being a father and an ex-husband and all that. Even the woman that he's with now, Ariane Curry, he called her a peasant on national TV when he was in the office with Dr. Francis. Somebody get Dr. Francis. Like maybe he'll listen to him. He really didn't, to be honest, because like I said, I would have think that we would have seen some type of change in Martell's behavior instead of stalking Mel outside of the DA's office. And if you're going to stalk her, that's to me, that's like asking somebody, why did they go to the police station? Like, you're stalking her, and now they have you on record from a law enforcement, not just any lawyer, the district attorney, the Huntsville, Alabama district attorney. Like, this is the the highest ranking prosecutor in the entire county in Huntsville, in the entire city. You're stalking her outside of a district attorney's office. That is okay. I don't want to insult Martell anymore. I'm just like, part of me, and I'm laughing just because my mind is blown at how illogical, his thought process is. But that's what makes him, unfortunately, such a danger. So, in my opinion, I have a feeling that he will see behind bars soon. They're going to revoke his bail, and hopefully by then, Melody will be safe. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.